What up, shitheads? On this episode of Nerd S.H.I.T, we're in Texas. We're going to be talking about every big monster that's ever been in your dreams, nightmares, and destroying Tokyo. That's right, we're talking about kaiju. So come on and let's get into it. Yeah. So, of course, I just said that we're talking about kaijus, big monsters. I'm personally excited as shit. I love Godzilla and all things that can destroy cities, much like Thanos just destroyed that table. But, of course, I'm not alone. I'm here with my shitty friends.
I'm Perkins.
I'm Alex.
I'm Crystal.
What's up, y'all? It's Fabian.
Big Daddy.
And it's your boy, Danny.
All right. So, what
Who are you?
I'm Justin.
Okay.
I'm sorry. If I didn't say that, hello, I'm Justin. Nice to meet you. When talking about like kaiju, the easiest way to start really is Godzilla. I don't know if any of you are fans of Godzilla. I know I personally am. I've got like a deep-rooted love of Godzilla thanks to my grandparents. But I guess I'd really like to kind of start with what exposure you have, if any at all. None is an acceptable answer. So for me, again, it's Godzilla.
I'm going to be on a back burner here. The most recent thing I can think of is like the movie. Not even the Godzilla versus Kong, the one before that. Where he did like a Kamehameha blast out his mouth to kill some other monster. I can't even remember it.
King of the Monsters.
You just
Matthew
named
Broderick?
all his movies.
Every
Oh, is that how he
Godzilla.
ends every fight?
That's his
Pretty
final.
much.
That's his
Okay.
Kamehameha. You know,
I
like
just remember his spine or some shit, those fins glowing, and then he
Hell
beamed
yeah.
the shit out of something.
He's like,
I
I
was
don't
like,
know
yeah.
anything about Godzilla, just
Godzilla.
his whole entire.
Yeah, that's pretty much his MO at the end of most movies.
It's a good MO then.
growing up, my dad, we used to watch like the old like Japanese movies, and it's weird because I don't know if it's something that my dad just like, you know, instilled in us, because like my brother is a huge Godzilla fan, bigger than me. His collection is wild. I'm gonna text him and see if he'll send me pictures of all his like Godzilla collection stuff, because I'm pretty sure like that's what every collector wants is recognition.
It's
Right.
ridiculous.
Why would you think
because
that?
like you don't spend because you don't spend like hundreds of dollars on like these models of like 1:1 scale replicas of like whatever, just to like have
anybody look at
yeah,
it.
to never have anyone be like, oh
Justin knows.
my
He's an
god.
expert.
Yeah.
Perfectly aware of that.
Yeah.
I'm super jealous.
Would Teenage Mutant Ninja
They are
Turtles?
not.
Okay.
They're not
Kaijus
big
were
enough.
giant monsters.
Yeah, they gotta be
Okay,
like
I was like,
of
They're just monsters.
destroy
Monsters.
cities because
Wait,
they're so
stop.
huge.
Me and Fabian had a discussion about this randomly because we were like,
Hey,
kaiju.
is this going to be
Man.
another one of those where you're like, what constitutes a rom-com, and you try to throw every movie into the
That's
genre?
a-
Attack on Titans,
Okay,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would say they're
Yes.
kaijus.
So
Those
Fuck
are
yeah,
definitely
dude.
kaiju.
there's definitely a lot of stuff we don't realize is like kaiju. And
Oh, absolutely.
I realized yesterday when I was just like, I was kind of in panic mode because I was like, man, okay, I know I'm going to talk about Godzilla, but what's a
who else?
kaiju? And so I looked up everything, and even Netflix, Hulu, like YouTube, it's nothing but blasted Godzilla. And then you'll have these
don't you
random
blast
Well, he is
Godzilla.
the king of the monsters.
Godzilla
He
Yeah.
is
does
the
the
god
blasting.
of monsters.
So, could you briefly tell us what a kaiju is, Justin?
Yeah, so effectively a kaiju is necessarily any monster that's destroying like a city or a town. That's either, it could be space, it could be under, you know, like lived with us already, dinosaur-esque. A lot of the times it's really seems more reptilian than anything else. Like
Power Ranger
technically
monsters?
King Kong is
Some
a
of them,
kaiju.
yes.
And yes and no, because I guess they start off small but get big. So I mean, yeah, technically I would call it a kaiju.
Once
That's
they-
my
once they
exposure.
are
That's
giant.
not
younger.
That is
person.
not giant robots
He's a
though. Like
younger.
Gundams are not kaiju.
Okay,
Like,
but
yeah.
it has to be a living organism, I
Yeah.
think. But
So
this is where
biomechanical.
I was like, are Transformers kaiju? Because technically they are organisms that are living.
I want to say yes.
this conversation's
but
stupid.
I have no.
But and that's the thing. It's like I was thinking about, because I was thinking of our kaiju episode.
I would say
and
yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
It's one of those weird technicalities where I
Optimus?
think you kind of like fall into that
Yeah.
category
Would-
just
yeah.
by chance.
Would Barney be a kaiju?
No, because again, he's not
Barney.
massive.
What
I
about-
think it's like towering.
Clifford the
Yeah.
Big Red Dog.
Kaiju.
Kaiju!
Kaiju
Kaiju!
worthy.
Oh my
Kaiju
God.
worthy.
Yes.
Cutesy.
I allow it.
Nobody said that they had to all be mean.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, if
my God.
Baby Godzilla, you
I was gonna
remember
say, yeah,
Godzuki?
Godzilla's son
yeah,
is a
Son of
kaiju.
Godzilla, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, they're all smaller creatures, and there's a lot of things you don't realize, like in popular movies that have kaiju elements too.
Cloverfield.
Space Jam?
Cloverfield.
I was just about to bring up
Cloverfield,
yes.
Cloverfield. That's
No
a
Space Jam?
prime
Okay.
example. Space Jam doesn't have giant monsters.
They're giant monsters.
Yeah,
taller
they're the
monsters.
Monstars.
They're mod stars.
They're not building destroyers. I think that's how I'll look at
Yeah,
it.
it's
Yeah,
like it's
like
like
Yeah.
city
Okay.
towering.
That makes sense.
This does get to like a tricky, like the rom-com episode, because I'm like, okay, War of the Worlds, The Mist.
So
Like-
yeah, in the Mist, I would
Wow.
have at the end of the Mist, which is funny because we're going to talk about it, in the next
Another
episode
episode.
too. But kaiju's absolutely that's 100% what they
they're
would have been
aliens.
considered.
Big ass,
giant as
monster.
fuck.
And
Yeah.
Stephen King is no stranger to kaiju-esque monsters.
Yeah,
That's kind of
yeah.
his jam, but it is widespread. And again, that's what you
Yeah.
don't realize.
Cthulhu.
Kind of what people say
Yep.
about what Fabian did, where it's like,
Fucking-
Godzilla.
The
That's-
Kraken.
Yeah, the Kraken is a kaiju.
Yeah.
Underwater kaiju.
Yeah.
Ooh, is there a difference between underwater kaiju and
No, because technically Godzilla is a kaiju, and he's
Yeah,
also
he
underwater.
lives
Oh,
underwater.
he does.
Swimming
He does.
kaiju.
Swim.
Okay.
Megalodon.
Ooh.
I don't want to talk
Wait.
about
Real
Megalodon,
life.
Okay.
bro. I don't like
Talk
sharks.
about real life
But
kaiju.
Fabian,
We're
did
dipping
you
into Justin Spears.
wait? Let's go. Original question though. What was your exposure?
Yeah,
Man, yeah. Honestly, the first thing that got me into Godzilla was probably my dad. But the most briefly thing I can remember is the GameCube game, and I think it's Destroy All Monsters.
I
All I can
that's-
think about
yeah,
is
I think-
Rampage now when talking
Yeah.
about kaiju.
Rampage.
Yeah, Rampage
Yeah.
also. That was a good one. But man, I would just play it like every single day, and I'd be kicking ass as Godzilla, and you'd have to fight Mecha Godzilla at the end, or Godzilla 3000. He blows
Yeah.
out that blizzard wind. I don't know, some kind of different
blast,
blast. But
mouth blast.
I think that was my first. That
It's
was my
Destroy
first.
All Monsters.
Destroy All Monsters.
Yeah.
Is that a band?
No, but it could
I
be.
was like,
It is after we release our first
Consider-
album.
Yeah. Nerd Shit E EP.
Well, what about y'all?
mine was the Matthew Broderick movie.
The 1990 whatever Godzilla or 2000 Godzilla.
Yeah, that was like my shit. I was like super hype about it, and I loved it, and I watched it like 1,000 times.
You know what's
and then I
funny?
watched like the cartoon too, and now that I actually talked to people who
Oh, the
are
cartoon
like,
was good too.
into like
Godzilla.
Godzilla and everything, like that movie was fucking trash, and I'm like,
I was actually about to say that movie, as far as Godzilla's go, like
It's weird because if I have a passion for it, I'm in a Facebook group for it. So I'm in one for Godzilla. And
Nice.
fuck, I didn't know that they had one.
oh,
now.
yeah, they got tons.
I'm gonna have to jump in on that.
They were. They talk about the Godzilla movie, the Matthew Broderick one, and it's generally concerned that's or revered concern. I don't know what word I'm looking for. It's they talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
That they like it. It's just they don't consider it like a classical Godzilla movie. They don't even refer to him as Godzilla. It's just Zilla. They don't put him
They're
in
on that
regular
level.
Godzilla.
They
lore.
don't. They didn't give him that god tier.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah,
like,
you're
you're just Zilla.
But they do
That's
like him.
a
It's just
cool
it's really weird.
I'll go check my girl
But
Zilla.
Well, it's also because
Zilla.
in terms of size, he's also really small.
Yeah, because Godzilla is massive, and that one was definitely not.
I mean, I feel like he was still tearing apart that city pretty well. So
Yeah, but if
We're not arguing his
the-
kaiju status. We're
Yeah.
just arguing how tall my
I'm just
boy
saying,
is.
it was a pretty.
as far as
big
like if you
Godzilla.
sized him up to the other Godzillas, he's pretty small.
Yeah.
I got a
Him
question.
and Baby Godzilla would probably like.
I'll ask you:
Yeah, what's up?
is he good or bad, or is he like in the middle? Like
It depends. So technically, Godzilla, it's like if we go with like current movie continuity that's out, like with the Godzilla versus King Kong, he's not good or bad. He's just king. Like
He's just a
he's
monster.
protecting Earth. He will rebalance Earth.
So he's
will,
good.
Yeah, kind
So
of.
he's
But
good.
at the same
Chaotic?
time, he
It
will.
just depends
Yeah,
on what
chaotic
side
good.
of the
Yeah,
argument
chaotic
you're
good,
on.
but will
Right.
also kill people if they're throwing off the balance
So
of
he's
Earth.
Thanos.
It gives me Namor vibes.
Not necessarily, because he's also kind of mindless in it. It's like a biological drive, not like an ideological drive.
so I don't want to call him good. Then I'll call him chaotic neutral.
He's chaotic neutral, I would
He's
say, because
good.
there are times, and
He's a
and,
good
and again,
boy.
it depends on what you're looking at as Godzilla. So there's a movie that came out in like 2016, I believe, called Shin Godzilla. And it's a really campy Japanese movie. The Godzilla does not. It's gross as hell looking.
I was gonna
because
say, is that
he's-
the one with the weird like tiny arms?
Yeah, he's like biological too, and where he like starts out as like a smaller like maggot type thing, and slowly transforms his way into the Godzilla monster.
Oh god.
and it
Yeah.
is the most
I think I've seen
terrifying.
this.
Like
Like,
sounds.
It's Shin
terrifying.
Godzilla. It is the most
gross.
terrifying version of Godzilla known to man for me because I watched it, and at the end, he is just a fucking nightmare. Like, kills without question. He's not there to be a good guy. In that movie, he's definitely evil.
yeah.
And it's cool, at least for
I love him.
Godzilla purposes. They
I don't think
Godzilla
you've
is
seen
the
it.
title character in these movies, but he's never there's always a story going on in the background
Unfortunately.
that means so much more. And a lot of it was like, for the Japanese people, it's like political.
Well, the
conversation
original
and stuff.
the original was made in symbolism to like the nuclear bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Oh,
he
wow.
symbolizes
Oh, that's right.
that essentially.
There's so much of it. And I mean, even
Yeah.
in those Godzilla movies, I think it's like they time it. It's like a thing with people that are really into it, how much of the monster you see in it. And 20 minutes is the average that you see in any Godzilla movie of Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
So in like an
Damn.
hour and a half movie, you're getting 20 minutes of big monster action.
Pacific Rim. Sorry, just popped.
No,
in my
that's,
head.
I mean, they even
Pacific
call them
Rim.
kaijus in
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah.
Dude, they should have like those robots go against Godzilla. That'd be fucking.
They would get
awesome.
murked.
Godzilla singularity point.
Yeah, singular.
Yeah.
I wanted to say point, but I wasn't sure.
Man,
But
you know how they took what was it? Jet
Jaguar.
Jet Jaguar. I like how they're taking him and like that's their way of feeding off the kaijus. Like
well, and Jet Jaguar and Godzilla in some of their stories have like teamed up, where it's like the humans coming to like terms with Godzilla's desires and like feeding off of and playing with each other, kind of like Mothra.
yeah.
Mothra is effectively like Godzilla's long-term girlfriend. Like
the
she
What?
is always
Get
there
it,
to pick up
son.
Godzilla.
Like, I need some extra. A moth, like
Yeah, giant moth.
Mothra.
and
Mothra.
Godzilla.
She is queen.
They're
are-
besties.
They have an emotional relationship.
They do. Like
Yeah.
even in the movie
She
you
takes
watched,
care of her man.
She literally
What is
has
going
healing
on?
the
powers.
movie
Yeah.
you watched that you were talking
like-
about earlier, where he did like the Kamehameha and killed the big monster.
Yeah.
That movie, Godzilla, only won because of Mothra.
Literally.
Like it was only
Period.
because of Mothra.
Girl power.
And the cool thing about Mothra, and there's so much really cool lore you can break down. Every time Mothra gets defeated, which happens a lot, because unfortunately, where she's also queen, she's kind of cannon fodder, and she gets killed a lot.
Oh god.
She always lays an egg to
Fucking
rehatch and come back.
patriarchy.
Yeah.
Look at her like
Like-
Sakura.
No, do not think of Mothra like Sakura. That is the most disrespectful shit.
So she's like a moth phoenix.
Yeah, essentially.
That's kind of cool. I could.
She's
accept that.
amazing.
No, she really is, and her
I wanted
character
to get
is
a
so
tattoo.
cool looking.
It would be
it.
that would be a cool
Do
tattoo.
that.
I know. I don't
Sorry.
But
No,
I don't think Alex gave
Yeah, Alex,
us
did
her.
you-
know. My exposure?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about it and I was like, gonna say, all my exposures, much like most of the nerdy shit that I'm exposed to, is because of Danny. But then someone said Rampage, and I was like, I used to play Rampage.
Yeah.
I used to
Yeah.
play
Fucking game.
at Mazio's. They had Rampage.
Yep.
And me and my brother used to play all the time.
Yeah.
Fucking Rampage.
That's like textbook kaiju. It's three things that got
Yeah.
turned into giant monsters that literally the whole game is destroying cities.
Yeah.
You're on
Yep.
top of towers, just like
Mashing
clobbering
stuff.
each other.
Literally,
Then you turn naked.
Did
Like,
everybody?
I
So
don't
everybody
have
played.
a ton.
Everybody played Rampage.
Yeah.
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 What character did you guys use? Personally, I used the wolf.
Yeah, I never played.
Dude, I love the wolf. Yeah, that was.
I was the
used all
lizard.
time.
I think I was the gorilla all the time.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
the lizard because it was the closest to Godzilla.
See, mine was the wolf just because I like wolves. And
That
Yeah,
game
wolves
got
are dope.
hard, bro.
Yeah.
The first level will be easy. Then you get like, after that they start fucking you up. I remember this dying. Like, why am I naked already? Hold on. Like multiple ass whoopings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crystal, you
That
said
game
you
was-
never played it?
What?
Oh, it's
God's
fun.
name is wrong with you?
I mean, you're just destroying the
No.
city. That's
I was gonna
all.
say,
You're just
That's
like-
why I love it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's so simple.
I was like,
Just
depending on,
rampaging.
like, what year this was? Do anybody have an idea?
Did you ever
What-
go to Mazio's
Probably
when you were
like
little?
late
No,
90s.
I didn't go to Mazio's until we were like. In,
They had it at CC's
Probably till,
Pizza
like,
a
high
long
school,
time
so, like,
ago.
it's my
Like,
brother's
a
house.
long
No,
time
it was
ago.
Mazio's.
It's at every Chuck E. Cheese,
never went
like
to
Peter
Mazio's?
Piper.
I played it
It's
somewhere.
like
I
a
thought they had it
Core.
at CC's. Maybe I'm tripping.
Maybe Mazio's.
No, CC's had the Battletoads game a long time ago.
Battletoads was a good one.
Oh, yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
played like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro at home.
Yeah.
That's
But
fair
then
enough.
also, exposure. Like Power Rangers.
Power. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
honestly, it's one of
Yeah,
those like
yeah,
if you
yeah.
really
That-
Power
think
Rangers,
about
they
it.
create
yeah.
a giant kaiju.
They always turn giant.
They're
That, like,
they're always fighting a kaiju, right? Like
At the
At
very
the
end,
end.
it's like
At
they're
the
end, they
small,
do.
and then they
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And they morph in time.
I want to
Morphin'
retouch
time.
on Power Rangers because a lot of their character lore that gets explained in like the comic books is nuts. But
Hold
that's-
on.
Oh yeah, it's
There's a Power Rangers comic
long
book?
running comic
Yeah.
books. There's actually, which is relevant. I just bought all of the Godzilla versus Power Rangers comic books. Like there's a whole series that just came out that was Godzilla
Okay, that I
versus
didn't
Power
know.
Rangers.
Oh,
I
Alex.
only know because he buys it.
I have no idea.
Oh man, if I had known or thought about it, I'd have brought them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They've been doing it for a long time. Did Power Rangers come out before Godzilla, or was Godzilla first?
No, Godzilla definitely
Godzilla
first.
probably-
Godzilla came out in
the
like
60s.
It was they had he had like black and
I
white.
think
movies.
50s. I think
Yeah.
Godzilla
Like
came out in the
old
50s.
The first
movies.
movie was definitely a black and white movie.
Yep.
It was,
Yeah.
and again, it's more of like a suspense thriller where things are happening. It's like, oh my god, there was the monster here. Oh my god, there was the monster there. When you finally see it, it's supposed to be terrifying. It is dated. Watching old Godzilla now is kind of hard if you're
Yeah.
It's very
if you
hard.
don't think
Yeah.
if you don't know what you're getting into, or you expect Hollywood level production.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're getting a man in a giant rubber suit that absolutely looks like a man in a giant rubber suit.
Like, if you
Which
take-
honestly, like at the time, was pretty like legit. Like they,
Yeah.
like,
Their set building was
Yeah.
immaculate because they would build these giant replicas of like Tokyo and
Yeah.
harbors
Yeah.
and water for this man to just destroy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of cool thinking about it like that. It takes Hollywood, and again, it's one of my favorite pieces of like Hollywood or movies, and it's like this fantastic thing that you get away from, like never expect to be in a position where I have to run from Godzilla, so I'm okay with watching people run from Godzilla. I want
Never say never, man. You
Yeah,
never
you
know.
never know, man.
Does Godzilla ever die, or does he always
Yes.
just get beat and come back?
There are many versions of Godzilla where
Yeah.
it's like his son, or Godzilla is actually a woman and is looking for places for her offspring. The Matthew Broderick movie, Godzilla was a woman.
Yeah, she like lays a bunch of eggs like in
Damn.
Either that or
Subway
she
or something.
didn't have a gender, but either way,
Yeah,
later,
that's
stop
really
calling it
hard.
a
I
woman.
think she like reproduced asexually.
Yeah.
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 The whole
Asexually.
thing was in there because then she had like a bunch of like Godzilla babies everywhere.
But if I'm not mistaken, like the whole premise behind Godzilla is really just like it's kind of like a love letter to nuclear disaster, and it was
Yeah.
poisoning.
radiation
Yeah.
and all that caused this to happen.
Yep.
Yeah, there's different variations. There are other big monsters that existed in that same area. Gamera, who's just a giant turtle, so it's right up my alley.
Yeah.
He's a good guy, giant kaiju monster, and
Yeah, that's the old one.
yeah, it's
I would
super
be
old.
fucked if these things existed in the real world.
Oh man, me
I'd be
too,
like-
because I'd want to make
God.
pets.
they were like,
Who is the toughest enemy that Godzilla has gone against?
King Ghidorah.
I would say King Ghidorah, but I would also say Biollante, Destroya. It depends
Destroya.
on Destroya. Like it's
They got real creative.
Creative.
it's kind of cheesy,
she'll
but
destroy
they're
ya.
actually, I'm really hoping that with the movies that are coming out that we get a Destroya or a Biollante. Biollante actually is another, I'm pretty sure, is a female character that ends up like crossing DNA with Godzilla and making Space Godzilla.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
Space
Yeah.
Godzilla has like these giant crystal like shoulder
I was gonna say
pads.
shoulder
and-
pads.
Shoulder
Yeah, it was considered like Godzilla in Japanese culture, and this is gonna sound super disrespectful, but like the Fast and
Disrespect your
Furious
surroundings.
franchise in Hollywood, like there's no reason to keep making these movies,
Yeah.
but people are watching them, so we're gonna keep making them. And like, shit, what are we gonna do this year?
These new
Fucking
Godzilla
space.
movies, like the King of the Monsters and like all like the what's it, King Kong and all of them, like
Yeah.
they're so fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
They are
like
pretty.
King Kong versus Godzilla. Like when they fought. What was the city they fought in at the end? Where
That was
it's all,
Tokyo.
Like, was it Tokyo? Okay, yeah,
because
yeah.
they took like that. The kids took like that weird shuttle
Yeah.
thing all the
Yeah.
way there.
Yes. The city, like with the neon lights and like the dust floating around, like the way it colored it, the color of
Yeah.
that movie was so pretty.
So pretty.
They make
Which
it
is-
look so beautiful because
Yeah.
they know they're about to fuck
Well,
it
you know,
up.
even
They're like, they
I
make
think that's
you
done on purpose because
sad.
even like
Yeah.
Pacific Rim, whenever they fought the monsters, and I'm pretty sure it was like Tokyo or something like that, it's very bright around them, and I think that helps with the monsters being like not like
Like
very
one-dimensional.
colorful or something
like
like,
the
a Pacific Rim.
juxtaposition between like the
I don't know
city
what
and
that
the
word means,
monsters.
but we'll look it up, and I'm gonna say you're right.
Yes, the ambidextrous
being, like-
of the.
like them being opposite.
Oh, okay,
like,
yes.
It just like highlights how opposite.
Yeah,
they are.
it
Yeah.
does a really good job of doing stuff like that. So I think it really is like monster nature versus like technology and beautiful, and nature's inevitably destroying the beautiful man-made, pretty, like
That's
scenery.
one of the things I
That's
was gonna
kinda
point
nice.
out about like the
That's
old
kinda
ones that you
nice.
guys are talking about, like the
Yeah.
originals versus like the newer stuff. Like if you watch any of the newer stuff, like it's almost physically impossible to go back and watch like the original shit just because like how it is. Like for me, I was like, oh, I can't do this.
Yeah, I was gonna say
like-
it's not
my
that
whole-
hard for me because I still enjoy
Danny's
it.
like, I remember coming home from lunch one day for
Yeah.
lunch one day, and Danny was watching an old one. He's like, "Ooh," and he'll go into like the explanation.
I'll
and I'm
start
like,
stomping around my Lego room.
But see, I feel like it's because you were already like previously a fan.
But
I feel like
that's-
if you
yeah.
don't
Yeah.
know and you try to go back, like it's so dated that for me, I was like, oh,
That's
no.
how I was. He'll be like, "Look how cool it
turn it
is,"
off.
and
No,
I'm
they're
like,
absolutely and that
What is
happens
cool?
with a
"How
lot
long
of
do I have
things.
to watch this? I want to support you, but this is
for the older stuff. I could do that.
No, there's
Yeah.
like an appreciation, but it is
Yeah, you can
it is
appreciate
hard
it.
to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
I
because-
obviously like the visuals of the
Yeah.
new stuff better and like the storytelling of the new
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's almost one of those things. Like if I see a movie that is terrible and I'm just like, fuck, that movie was so bad. Like I could go watch that Godzilla one where technically it's not a good movie,
Right.
but I'm like, fuck, that's so good. And I don't know what it is in my brain that makes me like enjoy it so much, but it's just like
Nostalgia's a hell of a drug.
it's definitely nostalgia. There's a bit, it's like a little bit of nostalgia, but also just a little bit of appreciation for the time because
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
at the time there wasn't anything like that, where they made a full ass costume for this dude. They built these tiny replicas. Like, I don't know, just something about the
craftsmanship.
the
While we're-
craftsman.
While we're talking about Godzilla, can you look at how many Godzilla films there are?
Yeah,
'Cause
I
I've
absolutely
been wondering
can.
that. Netflix had me like shocked yesterday. so-
HBO Max or just HBO has a lot, like a lot of old stuff, and they have all the new stuff. It's pretty great, and I think it's funny because with like the trilogy that's come out recently, or not trilogy, I guess I guess trilogy of Godzilla and
So
plus the
there's
MonsterVerse.
Skull Island,
Yeah.
Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and Godzilla vs Kong. Technically, there's 4 movies in that
Yeah.
series.
So the first Godzilla in that series, it was funny because a lot of people were pissed that there was not a lot of Godzilla, but to me, that was a Godzilla movie.
It was because they did a really good job of like hiding the monster,
Yeah.
and you had to anticipate and expect it. You weren't just given it. And I think that's one of the big reasons why like classic Godzilla fans enjoy the older stuff more than the new stuff, or can separate them both, is because you're not supposed to get a full-on monster movie. You're not watching a monster movie. You're watching a Godzilla movie. And when you watch Godzilla, a lot of it's interpreted differently. You're paying attention to the story around the big monster, and the big monster is just an added bonus, not it's all about the big monster.
Yeah.
So when you finally see Godzilla, you're hype as hell because you've been waiting an hour to see him finally tear down a town for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is King of the Monsters where he battles
Ghidorah?
Ghidorah? Okay.
Yes.
So I think it was that one that they show you like a bunch of the other like kaiju that are on the planet.
Yes.
They, like,
Yeah.
have
They
all
just
kinds
start
of
Is that the
different
popping
one
up.
with
Yeah.
Tyrion Lannister in it?
Yes, that's the
Is he
grandpa,
in that?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy that takes the mom.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that, and it's funny because in that one, they listened to fans that were like pissed that there was so much like human story, and they were like, all right, well then we'll give you a lot of monster, and then they gave us a lot of monster, and then like the critics were like, there was not enough people story in this, and it was like.
People
What do
are
you
never
want?
happy.
Do you want a movie about like giant monsters destroying
Critics
stuff?
are gonna be different from the fans.
The fan, yeah, for
Well,
sure.
and that's what made
Critics
King
don't
Kong
know
versus
shit.
Godzilla. That's what made King Kong versus Godzilla kind of like a beautiful like
It was balanced.
ballot, because in King Kong movies, typically the story is all about King Kong, and you're getting a lot of King Kong. They did that
Fucking
with
loved King Kong.
flashes
Yeah.
of Godzilla.
Yep.
And that's
he
what I
reminds
think
him so
made
much
that
of that
work
Yeah.
until the very end fight that King Kong lost.
Oh,
Twice.
Yeah.
King
Bitch.
Kong.
The King Kong
King-
with Jack
King
Black.
Kong.
I watched that,
That
in
was a fun movie.
theaters like 3 times.
That's
which-
a long ass movie.
I know,
Skull Island,
and
right?
it's weird because I
Skull
was.
Island. No, that's not the one with Jack Black.
Oh,
That's
which
the
one?
old. It's way older. Well, not way
How did I
older,
do
but
that? I stole money, probably.
Criminal.
I was like,
Exposed.
Okay,
You're going to jail.
Okay, here's another one. That movie, and I think it's with a giant shark.
Are you about
Meg?
to say
Deep Blue Sea?
Sharknado?
I remember
Are we
Sharknado.
going to
Oh,
Sharknado?
I think
right
it's a
now?
giant shark.
Shark.
I just remember like a little girl. It's recent-ish, like modern. It's a little girl and she's like staring at the like glass. They're like underwater, like a thing underwater. She's staring at the glass and then the monster's like coming towards her.
That's Godzilla.
That's Godzilla?
No, that could
That is
also
Godzilla.
be Deep Blue Sea. That
I
was
love
it
Deep
was
Blue
the-
Sea.
it was
It's
a
like
man-
Mega Shark or something. Mega.
Oh no,
Megalodon?
it's called
The
think-
Meg?
I
Or the
think it's
Meg?
called Meg.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
watch.
Meg?
Meg, yeah.
I don't watch shark shit.
That
I'm not
movie
gonna
was
lie to
fucking
you. I am
wild.
fucking terrified.
I think
of,
that'd be a
like, oh
kaiju,
my
right? There's no city
God,
for it to
man.
destroy, but I think it would be a kaiju.
There is an
A
argument
water?
there. Like,
I mean,
remember we
it
already
just came-
established
yeah.
that Godzilla's a water-based monster.
Yeah, but
too.
but no, I'm saying like it's just like a water kaiju.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say so. I mean,
It could
it's
destroy other things, just
It
not
could,
cities.
it could
like my
destroy
fucking
Atlantis.
dreams.
Yikes.
Your dreams. I was just thinking about that image just came to my mind. I was
I
like,
think
that was
well,
fucking
I
scary.
think there's that scene in that one, and I'm pretty sure there's one in Godzilla where
That's
they
the-
open their thing and he's just like looking at him and he's like swimming towards him and his blue
It's like
Oh,
scales
yeah,
are
yeah.
flash, like
Oh.
it's really cool that shot you're talking about
Yeah.
because he starts out so far when you just see it like pulse,
Yeah,
and then
on
it like
the
goes away, and then he
sonar.
like swims past it, and it's
and then the dude has to like change his pants because
I
there's
need
no
to
way
do
he
that
can
right
shit
now.
himself. Like
it's so weird that I love like big monsters and stuff like that, but talking about sharks made me so uncomfortable. Like, my skin is crawling
He
right
just has
now.
like a fear of like deep underwater. Like if he can't see under the water,
I don't
then
want to
it's
be in there.
anything that's under
That's
the
so
not
water.
Danny is.
if it's not a
Tadpoles,
kiddie
who cares?
pool,
I
don't
used
want
to
it.
like we'd go swimming in public pools growing
Yeah.
up, and specifically there's this pool in Temple called Walker Pool. The very bottom of the deep end had a grate, like a
Draining.
like a draining grate or something, and it would freak me out because I
Yeah,
was like,
that
what if something?
that would freak me out.
What if something comes out from? But the thing was seriously like the size of this iPad. But
I was picturing a
Follow
much
him,
bigger.
yeah, it would
thing.
freak. No, I don't want any part of it. It's the most disgusting thing ever. It scares the hell out of
There's an
me.
anime
Yeah.
called Tokyo Fishing Tech where
Nope.
sharks are on little mechanical legs and they kill and they literally break into cabins where you think you'd be safe from a shark and eat you.
Where you think
This
you'd be safe.
just in. Anime has no fucking bounds. If you
Nothing,
haven't figured that out
nothing
yet.
could have prepared me for that.
Really?
cinema.
First of all, what do you
really?
mean nothing
Have
could
you
prepare
seen
you?
Austin Powers?
Have you ever watched Street
Wait.
Sharks?
Okay, you guys have like a plethora of things. So, no,
There's a
I
whole children's cartoon about street sharks.
Oh, I
Street?
fucking love that show.
Street
that-
shark.
But they are
I
kaiju.
think I do
they're
know
not,
that
they're
one
too small.
actually.
Yeah.
This is like off topic from sharks, but what movie were you talking about though? Which one is
The
it?
Meg.
It was the Meg.
No,
The
which
Meg.
one is Jack Black in?
Oh,
He's- so
oh,
there's
it's
a-
King Kong.
Maybe yeah, it was
It's
maybe
just King Kong.
2005.
It's Jack
King Kong.
Black.
Yeah.
It was a remake of the original black and white King
Yeah.
Kong.
Yeah.
Like they
Okay.
wanted to
It wasn't
just
part of
update
like
it.
the Godzilla series
No.
or anything
It was
like
Jack Black and the woman who's the mom in The Ring.
And Adrian Brody, I'm pretty sure,
Yes.
is in that movie
Yeah,
as
he
well.
is.
Oh, yeah.
And Jack Black locks himself in a theater and pees in a bunch of bottles. That's all I remember.
It's
that. I do not remember
Classic
that.
Jack.
I
Classic
remember
Jack.
everything.
Oh my god.
Anyway, that movie was dope. There's
It's a
just
fun
like
movie.
there's just like I think what I loved so much was the connection between the woman and King Kong. I was like, they have such a connection.
But that's like in all of them.
That's
though.
Yeah.
that's a very Beauty
love
and the
that,
Beast-esque
yeah.
take
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
And I think that
Yeah.
was done on purpose, where it's like, oh, big, ugly, terrifying, still like brought
That
to his knees by like
juxtaposition
that
there.
love of a woman, like that tender. I'm gonna need this word and me are not gonna get
You're gonna
along
love
it
that
sounds so hard
word.
to juxtaposition.
You're gonna love
I
it.
think there's something that nobody ever equates with like Godzilla. There's one thing they always forget.
Elves?
It's just that he's like he has serenity in him, and that he won't fuck you up unless he has to.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So like
Damn.
if you fucking with him,
That's why I think he's good.
look at
But
it like a
that's-
Namor.
but
you
That's
know?
newer
certain
Godzilla.
iterations.
Yeah,
Go
that's-
back and watch Shin Godzilla, and you're gonna walk away thinking,
Yeah,
that
he does fuck
piece
up
of
a
lot.
shit. Like
I don't know. Like everyone said that Scarlet Witch was doing bad things, and I was like,
I mean, she was doing bad
No,
things.
she
She was
absolutely
doing
was.
very
I
bad
was like,
things.
I still love that girl. I
She
don't
ain't
know.
no
She's doing what
kaiju.
she has
I'm gonna
to do.
sacrifice this one girl for my kids who never really technically existed.
She's doing what she had to do.
On the topic of
That's justification
Other
for so many murders,
kaiju.
by the way. Like
Doing what
if
I
you can't if you can't take that into a courtroom and get off, then I don't.
I did what I had to do.
Like, sir, she did do what she had to do.
Innocent,
Let her go.
not guilty.
What were you saying, Fabian?
On the topic of like other kaiju stuff, have you guys ever came across Monster Hunter? Like the game, the movie?
I watched
like,
the anime.
Not the movie. Forget about
Or
the
not the
movie.
anime.
That's the only exposure I have is the movie, actually.
We did watch the movie, but my brain was thinking Monster Hunter World. Do you guys
Man,
I
old
remember Monster
anime?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Monster Hunter, like
Yeah.
hell yeah.
The games that came on, I just have like the most vivid memory of kaijus. It's like when I was playing PSP with my cousin, and we would just like go on quests and fight these huge monsters. But they have such a lore for it now, and they're literally comics out. They
It's
have
so much bigger
animes,
overseas than it
movies.
is here, and I wish that it would get bigger here because there is a lot going on that dates back
Are they gonna
so
add
many years.
to the movie?
Which movie?
Probably not. I don't think it did.
It didn't do very
I don't.
good.
I think it did
didn't
very
do
I remember
well.
when we
at all.
watched it, I was like, like sometimes whenever they're like playing a game and it starts and you're like playing and then it gets to a point and it's like, and now you're in the game, and I'm like, bitch, I've been playing the game for like 30 minutes. Like, I feel like that's how that movie was. Like, it went through and then it got to a point like the movie ended and I was like, oh, we're just fucking getting to
If
some
you
shit.
never watched
So
the
I've been
movie-
waiting for
I
another
played
one,
the
but
game. Shit.
The
I know
movie
how
was
it did.
good and bad. Like she said, it took forever getting to like the title screen part where you're like, okay, this is Monster
That
Hunter.
happened.
But the characters, like the palicos, are like these tiny cat creatures in the
Oh,
Monster
man,
Hunter
I
world, and
love
they look
them.
great in the movie. The Raytheons, which is this giant black and red dragon,
Shout out
was
to the
in movie.
Rathalos.
Fuck the Rathlos. Looked so good in the movie. Like all of the monsters were spot on. It's just, I think if I'm not mistaken, one of the problems was, and I'm gonna probably butcher her name, Mia Jovovich.
Mila Jovovich.
Her husband made the movie and
Oh.
put her in it because she wanted to be a part of the project, but unfortunately I think she kind of front and centered a little too much, and
Oh,
it took
no.
away from the Monster Hunter world that they were trying to make.
That's
Instead
why
focused
they need
on
another
her.
Movie,
No,
so that
I
they
agree.
can
I would love to watch another
fix
one.
that
They
and
can
I can
expand
learn
it
more
by
about
a
the show because I don't
substantial-
want to play the game.
Alex, I think you would love this game. Like
Really?
you got cats that are your personal chefs.
Those
Like,
cats are so cool and they're so
they,
interactive.
They go hunting with you and fight these huge monsters.
There's
like,
just a game
you
called
could
Bio
choose
World
their
where you just play as the
weapons.
cat.
But okay,
It's crazy.
is it one of those games where you just like walk around and have to figure out what you're doing?
Kinda. It's
Really?
like
There's
a
a
journey
lot of
game.
I
technical
hate
shit
those
in
games.
You
that.
just
Yeah.
named most games,
so
though.
much technical
I
shit.
hate
It's
those
so
games.
crazy because when I first got introduced to it, I just bought it. I was like, oh, it's $5, whatever. And so what I didn't expect anything, but literally it starts you off like you're just going into a forest. You don't know what to expect. You see all these deer. Oh, this
I already
is
know.
cool.
It's like It's like
But-
Minecraft, but with monsters.
Giant
I
fucking
just like
monsters.
I hate games that are like, and you're right, like it's most games, and that's probably why I'm not a gamer, because I hate games where you're like, what do I do? What do I do?
I've never played it,
What's
so
my
I don't really
objective?
know what it's
Well,
like.
walk
but
a
it's-
little further. You get out of the forest with a deer, and then you're fighting a huge thing that looks like a giant penis. It's Kezu.
Some of those monsters are a little weird looking.
I feel like you just
They're-
made this up to make
No,
it
no.
interesting. You're like,
Just-
no, you're gonna
we're
love
gonna
it.
queue
You're gonna
Giant.
love it.
We're gonna
Giant
chew up
dick.
a Kezu.
Giant dick monster will
There's
be
a
right
Kezu
here.
picture right here. So
The
I'm not
Diablo was an
lying.
awesome monster, though.
Oh yeah.
And I think Monster Hunter, the newest game, the Monster Hunter World or
World?
whatever,
Yeah.
I think was finally introduced to like an American audience that sold us on the series because
Yeah.
it's gotten pretty successful from there. I mean, hell, it had a movie come
I'm
out.
Yeah,
so
DLC
glad
and
they're not
everything,
killing
too.
it because they have Final Fantasy team ups. Like they've teamed up with other games as
I think
well.
I did a team up with like Street Fighter where I have like a full
Yeah.
Ryu skin in the
Yeah.
game.
It's Capcom.
Going back to King Kong, and it shouldn't have been a surprise to me, but I was looking up their IMDb page, and Andy Serkis actually did King Kong.
Oh, Andy,
Like
Like
yeah, my
the
boy
like the
Andy.
motion
Gollum
capture
and-
for.
yeah, he
oh,
did-
that's
yeah.
awesome.
And he is awesome. He's done a lot of like
That's
creature.
why. That's probably why they were like Planet of the Apes. Join us.
Like you already have it.
You got the background. Like it's one of those like he didn't lie on his resume for the role.
No,
of,
not at all. We just watched Black Panther with him the other
Hey,
day,
wait.
and I forgot how great he
Wait,
is.
weren't you Googling how many
Yeah, I did.
Godzilla-
I have it up here.
Okay,
I was
cool.
waiting to kind of bring that in conversation. There
Yeah.
are 38 Godzilla movies that have been made.
That's it.
Yeah, only 38.
that's it.
That's
That's,
a lot.
I feel like
there's
there's
some
not
TV
impressed.
shows that don't have that many channels or
Oh,
episodes.
I'm a liar. It's actually 36. My
even
busted
less
glasses didn't read
impressive.
this.
What the hell?
Oh, you know what? Your glasses were reading the future. 'cause
Does
they're-
that count like the shows?
That
and-
goes all the way from at the latest movie is Godzilla versus King Kong that came out in 2001, and the earliest Godzilla that came out in 1954.
Wait, 21.
21, sorry. I don't know what I said.
2001?
2021.
Would that be a bad time for Godzilla to come out?
No. Wow.
Damn.
R.I.P.
Shit.
Hashtag never
Sorry,
forget.
guys.
Oh.
My bad.
Long live the queen.
Long live the queen.
God.
Man, don't even get me started on the
What are you
queen.
doing right
Wait,
now?
so how long? Like, okay,
Cutting
I
that
know
part.
Godzilla was first, like the biggest giant kaiju thing. Where was King Kong and all this as far as like when he was released? Like, who was the next giant big monster thing?
It probably Gamera is close in that conversation because Gamera's movies are also pretty old. I'd have to look up, which I'm doing right now. I just can't spell original with one finger.
There was something I was wondering, kind of on the topic of Godzilla, but is it Ultraman that's tied into him?
Ultraman is tied into that universe, I believe.
He always
I think
comes to
that's-
like save the day kind of thing.
Yeah.
right?
I also think that might also be Jet Jaguar in a lot of those because they have a
Yeah.
very similar
Okay.
look with like the metal and red.
That's what I thought. Jet Jaguar was based off of Ultraman because back in the the old Godzilla movies, you'd always see like I'm not sure if it's Ultraman, but someone would come out in the suit and
I'm pretty sure it's
I
Jet.
like I vaguely remember watching movies with someone that like
Yeah.
you're talking about. I don't know exactly who it is either because I haven't seen it in so long.
Yeah.
So there was a giant guy fighting Godzilla.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
That's fucking lit.
That's,
Yeah.
I'll show you.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
that's
the-
Ultraman.
Okay, yes.
So Ultraman is a giant. It's kind of Power Ranger esque.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. Power Rangers are going to get brought up a lot today. I didn't realize that when we first started this
me
because
Yeah.
it's heavily Japanese influenced.
Yeah.
Saint Seiya or something. The original
okay.
cartoon was a Japanese cartoon. They wanted to bring it to an American audience.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of like the fight scenes and all of that are all Japanese actors. And then when you see them as teenagers, that's when the U.S. re-edited and shot a lot of those.
yeah.
There's even a thing on Power Rangers that's on that. What was that? The toy.
The Toys That Made Us. That's
Yeah,
a really
Toys That
great
Made Us.
series.
That's
but
actually really good.
bring that up
Go
for
check that out.
Ultraman purposes because Ultraman is kind of a Power Ranger esque thing where it was a guy that like transforms into this robot.
Giant robot.
But Ultraman and Jet Jaguar look very similar.
What was that gasp for?
My brain is just like, what's a like thinking of anything that could possibly be a
See,
kaiju.
that is constantly what I was coming back to. Like,
Yeah.
is that a
Jaguar and
kaiju?
Godzilla.
I was like,
Okay,
Mario?
no, that's what I'm remembering.
Oh,
Mario?
just
So did this
Mario.
guy beat Godzilla's ass?
No, Jet
Oh, God,
Jaguar
no.
is teamed
He
up with
becomes
Godzilla
big
a
and he
No,
lot.
he
destroys.
doesn't.
Yeah, he does. He goes. "Good."
But no, he doesn't. He goes from someone your size to someone like Perkins' size.
What are we talking about?
No,
Yes,
he,
that's literally all he
What are we
grows.
talking about?
Mario.
Yeah, no, that's not kaiju at all.
no, but he destroys.
No.
No,
Turtles.
He
That
just-
mini
yeah,
kaiju man.
no, that's
He's like
A hater of
"Good."
turtles.
that's you're rom-comming kaiju right now because we're gonna start to be able to put anything in this
Hey,
series
he
of
does
Mario.
fight monsters. I don't know. This is
No.
No,
Yeah, I
Does Bowser
No.
become a kaiju?
No.
Has he ever been giant?
Oh, you know what?
I thought he became
Well,
giant.
there's
I mean,
that.
if you give him one of those mushrooms, it makes him again like maybe 33% larger.
Yeah, it
but
doesn't
he's still
make
not
him
towering
that much
over
bigger.
buildings.
No.
but he is going doink doink doink, and he's like.
Oh, I forgot about the
smushing
doink doink
things.
doink thing.
Doink
So-
Doink is part of
Let's
the
just
kaiju
remember-
category, I guess.
The whole time Mario's growing, he's on shrooms. So let's.
So he's actually not even
It
that
might
big.
not
He
even
just
be a
thinks
thing.
he is.
Because again, you could start literally taking anything like the Hulk. Is the Hulk a kaiju?
Oh
No,
No.
because that's literally Bruce
destroys
Banner
He
eating a
buildings.
mushroom.
destroys.
He gets
Hulk
bigger.
Smash.
He
Hulk
becomes a
do
monster.
smash.
I'm on the no train too.
No.
But it's
No, it's clear cut. I
Yeah.
agree. I got you on this.
Yeah.
They need to be giant monster thingies.
My favorite
buildings
kaiju,
up.
Bulbasaur.
King Kong came out first, by the way.
Before Gridman.
Before
Godzilla, really.
King
Dude,
Kong, King
what?
Kong came out.
Y'all said he was the OG.
I was wrong. King Kong came out in
Damn,
1933.
Betrayal.
But
Yeah.
you know what? He's better.
Fuck King Kong because he gets
1930
bodied.
fucking
That's
three.
rude.
Do you
Holy
guys?
shit.
Do
You know
you
what's
guys have an ultimate decision of who beats who in that fight?
Godzilla all day.
Oh well.
All day, every day.
That was
Every single
crazy.
day.
Are you guys?
We have tried to have
should make
this
a podcast.
argument before, and it did not work.
Nerd shit audience, you tell us who wins in the comments.
But they don't need to. King Kong gets beat.
It's King Kong
Yeah.
all day, every day.
Okay, well,
I mean, any
Oh
interaction.
wait, did I say King Kong? I meant Godzilla.
Wow!
hold
The truth comes out.
Yeah, well, we've gotten into this multiple times where people have tried to argue King Kong, and even in the latest movie, they're like, "Well, King Kong fights Mecha Godzilla, but he only beats him with Godzilla's help."
Yep.
King Kong got killed by Godzilla, and a nuclear warhead had to bring him back to life so he could be back in the fight.
Yeah.
Godzilla all day.
So
They had to make up a whole new Earth for
basically,
King Kong to rule, so Godzilla didn't have to beat his ass again.
Reptiles beat mammals probably because of their strong armor.
Well, it's also just like I think he's much
Yeah,
bigger than.
Plot armor.
No, I mean, king. What is a king to a god? You know, like.
Damn!
This guy.
Damn! Babe,
Did they ever give King
put that
Kong
in
a
your
weapon?
lyrics.
Yo,
put
that's
that in
a
a
song
shirt.
title. That is a
that-
song title
Pretty
right
sure
there.
Kanye
Put that in
West
your
did
lyrics
that.
notes.
What's
For,
a king to a god?
for
But
real,
no,
though,
but
you
like-
should put your lyrics notes. That's a good line.
Maybe I might. Nah, I don't know. Anyways, but like, I might put in a song or two. No, but I just feel like Godzilla is much bigger than Kong. Like, there's the only difference is Kong might be a little smarter,
Girth.
but like not.
Thumbs.
He has thumbs.
Thumbs.
He
Did
has
he ever get a
thumbs.
weapon?
The
Yeah,
weapon
in the
he
newest movie, got,
used
like,
was
a giant
Oh,
Godzilla.
yeah.
Godzilla,
His arms
like,
are
That was pretty important.
scale off his back
proportionate.
that was like supercharged by Godzilla.
And he
So
lost
again,
still?
yeah, because he's a bitch.
damn.
Fuck
Should've
his
just gave
opposing-
him a giant
fuck his
gun.
thumbs.
Like, I don't know, man.
That's
No more action.
that's gonna be King Kong versus Godzilla 3, and they just make King Kong a giant AK-47. We fucking had it, Godzilla.
I wanted to
Rain
introduce this
liquid
one
death.
because I was talking to Perkins a little bit about it, and I don't know. I really want it to be a kaiju. I don't know if
Without
it
any
is,
frame of
but
reference, we can't help you there, bud.
It's called Gantz Zero. It's a movie, but they have an anime
Netflix.
series.
I knew that anime.
Yeah.
Like,
The anime's sick,
Dude,
but
I'm gonna say it's a kaiju because they are destroying like fucking buildings and shit.
Yeah.
They start off.
you can't
very
go from asking for the definition to deciding what is and isn't a kaiju.
We just decided earlier when you went against Mario eating mushrooms, bro. Fuck that.
if you guys have not seen this one, it's pretty insane.
It's violent though.
Basically, it's like I guess it's kind of like I wouldn't say utopian future, but they kind of have this concept
If
where
it's destroying buildings, there's not utopia.
well, there's like two
Dystopian.
universes that
Dystopian.
I feel like
coexist.
if this creature
probably-
I'm looking at on Google is indicative
probably
of the creature in the
dystopian.
movie,
Maybe.
if we're gonna let Attack on Titan be a kaiju, then
Utopian
these
means
guys
perfect.
get to.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it just.
I
I
believe it gets
Dystopia
bigger.
means-
I was about to say, but he is
I
also
think
kind
it
of
gets
small.
like-
was gonna say he's pretty small.
No. It gets bigger, like to the point as being as big as a building.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That's just a preview of weird god alien monster dude in there.
Okay.
I really want all of y'all to see this one.
What's
if
it
you
called?
haven't seen Gantz,
Gantz.
Gantz Zero.
What's
Okay.
it streaming on?
Man, it's on.
Netflix.
You can find it on Netflix.
Netflix.
Okay.
But man, this one basically like when you're on the verge of death, you get a second chance. And so this guy, it starts off. This isn't a spoiler. It's like literally the first minute. Starts off. He's the main character.
I mean, it's a spoiler
And-
for the first minute.
Yeah.
Whatever. You're gonna watch it regardless. It's so good.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much main character dies off the rip in a subway like accident. He gets stabbed to death. And on the brink of
God
death,
damn.
he wakes up and he's in this room. And he doesn't know where the fuck he's at. And he's like, what the hell? He's surrounded by these few people and they're all wearing suits. And they're like, oh, he's a first timer. Like, obviously he doesn't know what's happening. Do you want me to break the news to him? And they're like, yeah, I was on the verge of heart attack. There's like an old man. He's like, she got in a car accident. And so he starts to realize, like, holy shit, okay, I'm dead, but why am I here? There's a huge ball in the center of the room, and it pretty much breaks down, like, in 5 seconds, like, you know, forget about your old life. This is what you're going to do now. You're given a second chance, but you got to fucking kill these monsters, pretty much. Yeah. And you got to survive in this world. And you'll be given a second life, pretty much. I think you also get a prize, like
You get a prize
Yeah.
to help you out even further
What
against
prize?
these alien bastards.
What are the prices?
It is not a nice world. Like his explanation is leaving out how fucking brutal everything is. Like you'll be talking to someone. Say I'm talking to Justin. We're having a good
I want
time
you to do
killing aliens and shit. Justin gets fucking curb stomped by a giant alien.
Jesus.
I'm watching.
It
Oh
gets-
God, I'm dead next.
it
Like,
gets harder and harder
It's
every
not
level.
fun.
They have
It's
like
not fun.
till you reach the final boss, and once you kill him, like there's your second life.
There's your
you know?
second
Dude,
life.
Man,
I mean,
that sounds
I'd
stressful.
watch it.
It sounds cool.
It's
It's
violent.
amazing.
And like,
Brutal.
I'm gonna put some of the
Yeah.
animation stills of it, but like animation wise, it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Fucking sick.
I mean, it's one of those things where like you pay more attention to the cinema too. Like But it's one of those where the animation style is really good, so I
Yeah.
can focus on that too.
I want to bring up a manga that I've been reading that's actually kaiju related.
Is it
It's
Kaiju number 8?
Kaiju number 8.
Literally in the name.
Yeah, it's in this world, like I guess kaiju are more like common, and they have teams that go kill them, and it focuses more on like a team that's cleanup.
Yeah.
And one of the
Cleanup?
cleanup, cleans up the mess
The
that kaiju leave
Okay.
behind after they get destroyed, and
Damage control.
pretty much.
yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
But without going too far into it, one of the cleanup crew ends up turning into a kaiju, but it's more controlled, and he's gonna help kill. Very Attack on Titan-esque with.
I was gonna say that sounds very Attack on
but
Titan.
it's not set in like some dystopian world that's gonna take 12 years to finally fucking give us the last season.
Dude,
Wow.
actually,
Damn.
yeah, I was gonna bring it up because
Damn.
Attack on Titan, I finally
Utopian?
what?
Sorry, no, go on.
Okay,
Sorry.
I was gonna say I just recently caught up to the most recent episodes, and I'm so fucking mad that they are still dragging this shit out. Don't get me wrong, I love the series,
Yeah.
and I was so because I was like, oh shit, the season should be ending, right? And so I was like, I'm gonna go watch all the episodes so I could finally finish this series.
Little did you know.
Little did I know.
Imagine, dude, another season.
It's so good though. Like I love the fact that like this whole time we're following this character and he's like the good guy all throughout these seasons. And then
Spoiler,
finally,
spoiler,
yeah,
big
spoiler.
spoiler. If you haven't seen it.
Spoilers.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys are watching it or caught
Yeah,
up.
she
or-
watched
it
Okay,
with
okay,
me.
okay. But like, and I know you haven't watched it, but
Yeah.
I
Were you
tell
kidding me?
you all
Alex
the
was
time.
just talking to me
I was
yesterday
like,
about
I don't apologize,
man that
but I
newest
tell
Attack
you-
on Titan episode.
We had to restart it like 3 different times because I feel like I got through the first season and I got ready to throw out the second season and I just wasn't like, I was like, all right, whatever, I'll catch it later.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well shit, I don't remember anything from season 1, so I restarted it like 3 different
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Before
Gotta
we were
follow
like,
through, my boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were like, we're fucking watching this.
But the
And so
only
we
reason
sat
I
down
did-
and it's fucking great, dude. Like,
The only reason I did that though is because it keeps on being advertised as the final season. I'm like,
Yes.
I'm gonna
Wow.
finish it. I want to be done. I caught up 3 seasons just for them to finally like.
Well,
you said.
I
listen.
want to
So
say
this
it's
is
because I don't have time. But
it might be, but
I watch
one.
Practical Magic.
Just
like
don't be
3
interested. It's
times.
So
fine.
you
That-
do
that's
have
also. I just finished all of Big Bang Theory in like a month for some reason.
You
I
just
just can't
admitted
stop
you had
watching
time.
Comfort Show. I know. I'm like, I want to say it's time, but I just want to watch witchy shit.
But yeah, so I think it's crazy that you follow this character as the good guy this whole time, and then finally at like come to like the end or like the final season, he becomes like the bad guy, at least so you think. And then it's like, just kidding, he's not actually a bad guy. But wait, is he a
Aaron
bad
in
guy?
this
Like,
show.
He's
it's-
not bad, bro.
Yeah.
To me, I'm Team Jaeger
I am
all
too,
the
man.
fucking
Like, it's a
way.
huge
I
bro.
don't know how I feel about him anymore.
I love it. I love his ideology. I love exactly what he's trying to do. Like I'm for
Their,
it.
their way to fix it
know.
was this. They gave him options. Look, you want to be good and save everybody? We'll just commit fucking genocide and kill all of your people and no more Titans. We get to be happy and y'all get to die at least and never have your population
So he-
fucking rebirth.
He taped
Fuck
the
yeah, bro.
turns.
He said, fuck you. Like, oh, so my people have to die because y'all fucked up when we were fucking not even around.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to fucking murk everyone else and we're going to fucking live. I was like, you know what? Aaron Yeager! All fucking day, bro. All day. I didn't feel bad. When people got their fucking head smashed in, you deserved it. When you died, you deserved it. Random innocent kid that died, you deserved it. Like, fuck that, bro. Because you get to watch it like Danny was saying. He didn't do shit wrong. He watched it. And he did try to go back and look at it again because, it's Aaron Yeager in control of everything. Their whole idea was still to kill all of his people. Why? Y'all already have them trapped inside a fucking wall. They get ate like sandwiches when they go outside. Why do we have to die? Y'all get to live over here in this fucking beautiful place,
yeah.
making us your slaves. What the fuck ever? Die.
And treated
Death.
him like absolute dog
Die.
shit when they
Yeah.
went over there. Like honestly, I agree. You're right. Like fuck everybody outside those walls.
I
Like,
think it's
they all deserve
I think
it.
it's my like moral, like, because I don't live in their world, it's hard to
Oh yeah, it's
to-
100%. They don't exist, so I can be
yeah,
prejudiced.
yeah,
against
for
them.
sure. Like you can definitely be like, oh yeah, fuck those people, they can all die. But like, I think about it in like just like my morality aspect of watching this show. It's like there has to be a middle ground. Like none of y'all were around when this war stuff was happening, and so it's like it sucks that these people are gonna die because of a war
guys
from
are
the past,
carrying on
and
old-ass
these people
shit
have to
that you
kill
had
these
nothing to
people.
do with.
Yeah,
My
definitely-
moral compass said, "Fuck that!" Like, go ahead, because they've been dying though. The Ymir storyline, they had to eat their mother. They were chomping on her like a buffet because the king wanted to keep the power.
They were forced to do some really weird.
Yeah,
shit.
it was.
the
It was.
fuck, bro?
It's a tough time to be a scout.
I watched that anime thinking I was going to get something completely different. And then when we caught up, because it was in the 4th whatever season.
Yeah.
And then it finally took that turn where it was, oh, this isn't all this. And there's a whole other world out there. And they're being trapped there. I was pissed. I was absolutely like, Aaron, go destroy all of them. And then that one little bitch shot the potato girl and the airship.
Not potato girl.
Sasha, I think is her name.
Sasha,
Yeah.
dude.
When
That's
Sasha
my next
died,
screen name.
I was the absolute
girl.
most upset human being
I
on
was
earth.
so
And I wanted
sad.
to kill that
I-
bitch.
Dude,
Yeah.
everyone wanted her to die. Like,
Yeah.
she has such good aim at the worst possible time. Like, God.
Yeah,
why
it's
you
like
reverse stormtrooper.
So for you, imagine like just the most wholesome character that's been around for like seasons,
Yeah.
and then just some random bitch just kills
Do you
that
have a
person.
potato girl
Do I have a potato
of your
girl?
show?
My show?
Any show.
Any,
Which
like, what's
you
your
won?
favorite show?
Tell me a Disney
Gossip
movie
Girl.
you like right now.
Girl.
And then
Gossip
tell
So
me your favorite
imagine
character.
Gossip Girl.
But the potato
Is that
girl.
the hold on? Is that with Blake?
Yeah.
Imagine her character going through like all these seasons, and then just a random character comes in like at the end and then kills her.
I was like, but technically, it'd be Blair Waldorf that I would care about more. But anyway.
But she's not the main character.
Okay, she's a side character.
She's a side character
Just a
that
lovable ass
everyone
side
loves.
so then
character.
probably Serena's brother is probably okay.
Okay,
Did.
but yes, there you go. Imagine Serena's character, and then some random homeless person just comes in and is just like bang, and then it's like all these seasons of loving this character, and then they're
Dead.
gone.
I'll tell you also,
exactly
Attack
what
on
it is.
Titan, if it's worth anything, all of my favorite characters are the female characters in that show.
Very
Yeah.
strong female
All
character.
strong female
Mikasa.
characters.
What
Yes.
you know about Mikasa?
Mikasa's
God
shit.
damn. I will kill
Big
you
But
all.
the glasses, the lady,
Uh,
The one with the eye patch?
yeah,
I forgot.
Badass.
I'm so bad with names.
Haynes Hines, yeah,
Is it Hines?
badass.
I'm pretty sure that's
That's
catch up.
catch up.
Something with an H.
That has nothing to do with kaijus though, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
I mean, kind of.
They're big monsters.
I-
in
I
Attack
think
on Titan.
Attack on Titan.
And
is
I remember that
kaiju.
one episode of Gossip Girl with a huge monster. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Her name is Georgina.
Wow.
Shade.
Shade.
My Gossip Girl
How did
fans
that
know
turn
what I'm
into an
talking
Attack
about.
on Titan tangent?
You're out there,
XOXO.
right?
Talk about big monsters and
Someone
you know
knows.
it's actually kind of like
Kaiju with the storyline.
kaijus and storyline and Godzilla. It does kind of have a Godzilla feel to it though, because it's like
With the Titans.
government and outside world interfering, and that's the real story.
government
but
is
on
fucked, bro.
paper,
Yeah.
it's giant monsters
Yep.
eating shit. I mean, it's got
And
a kaiju feel.
destroying cities and towering over like massive walls that are they're just
Colossal
destroying. Yeah.
Titan,
Could you
man.
imagine living in that world? Like, one of the worst possible places to be, like,
No, sir.
Second or ever two would be Attack on Titan.
I
Wow,
would-
I'm in a new anime world. Your best
Hell
friend gets her
no.
fucking head munched on. I'm fucked. Like,
Can you isekai my ass home? I'll take a bad credit score over this bullshit.
I like the scouts because they're outfits, but I would never love to be a
Dude,
scout.
no.
No, Crystal, you had your hand up.
I did. Hey.
Hey,
Hi,
so,
Crystal.
Question.
Questions. No, I'm just kidding. What was that movie that we watched that had
Anne Hathaway.
Yes.
Oh, what
I
was
was
We
gonna
didn't
say
get to
let's-
watch
Colossal?
it, but I want to hear
Oh,
about this
I think
show.
it's called
The Devil
Colossal.
Wears
Colossal.
Prada.
Colossal was a fun movie. It was about effectively Anne Hathaway had a connection with a kaiju in Japan.
They
And
just randomly
whenever
appear
they
at a
would go
specific
to
time.
this very specific spot on this playground, a
was
giant
Korea.
monster
Oh,
would
what the
appear
fuck?
in Japan and
Korea.
Korea.
I'm pretty sure it's
Okay, and terrorize a city.
dude, when did that movie come out? I forgot about the movie.
Let me
too.
look
You
it
brought
It's
it
a
up.
it's
There.
a couple years old.
I'm about to spoiler the shit out of this movie
It's
though
fun.
because it is fun.
I
remember that.
saw clips of it on TikTok.
That was a
actually.
fun movie.
The main character, the male part in it, I'm pretty sure he's the guy that plays like Ted Lasso. And
Yeah, it is.
he is the biggest piece of shit. He plays off first as like, oh, I'm gonna help you. Tries to get her back on her feet, gives her a job, and it turns out that he also controls a kaiju-esque monster in the form of a robot at this same park. And as they get into the story, they find out that when they were kids, he bullied her. And the same time he bullied her, and it's very plot armory feel, lightning struck in this very exact location, and she had these toys in this diorama, and they effectively took on the personalities of those two toys. So anytime they went back to this exact same spot, they turned into those monsters in that area, because I think she had like a diorama that was of that Korean place or something, right?
Yeah.
He probably like
I think that
destroyed
was
it.
like the city she was doing
Yeah,
her.
and
it was like Seoul. that she
He was a
doing
piece
her
of
thing.
shit and was like, if you don't come back to this spot, or if you don't have sex with me, or if you don't listen to me, I'm going to go back to this spot. I'm going to destroy this town.
Damn.
Because he can. He's also a monster in this town.
Yeah.
And
But
she
it's
kind of turns
so
into a little
weird
bit of a
because
hero.
They literally are like in an empty ass park at like 8 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Drunk as shit.
Just stomping around in a sandbox. And
Yeah.
so they look dumb as shit. But then
in
across
wherever-
the world,
yeah.
they're fucking terrorizing these people and destroying a whole fucking town.
So
and it's just
so when
it's
they're
really weird.
so when they're in their park,
But it's
do they
easy to
know? Can they see what's happening
So
over there, or
they
how does that
had
work?
another guy that was with them with a tablet that was like, oh, live news, and like showing them,
Oh,
because
okay,
that's how
okay.
they made the connection.
So it
Yeah.
was like world news because it was
I mean, a
like
giant
random
fucking
monster
yeah.
disappears and then vanishes.
Yeah.
The
moments
movie
later, so.
ends with like his character was, again, he's just a fucking nightmare. Like, he goes to the park and starts just leveling buildings. She gets on a plane and goes to that town, and so her monster now appears in the park, so that she just like flips its location.
Oh shit.
And then grabs the dude, like the actual like human, and just fucking yeets him.
You're gonna have to eat me.
That's amazing. I love that she was like, I wonder if I go over
Yeah.
there, if maybe monster will teleport
Yeah.
over here. That's
It-
so.
When I tell you some parts of it, I was like, what the fuck? Like, where in
It
your
was
head were
also,
you like, let me fly across the country?
That's
'cause
so
that's how I'm gonna defeat
excessive.
you.
Because
Yes.
she could like murder him in real life.
Yeah, it was a very
but
much
then
like
it's not her going to jail. Like, oh, it wasn't me. It was this monster.
There. Okay. Yeah.
I think the movies, the what they were trying to get at was
Trial
not all monsters
I was in
are
Korea.
monsters, and not all humans are humans. A human can be a monster, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because her monster in this town started being the hero because she would try to stand up to him in the park, and he would overpower her. So,
Yeah.
so she wasn't a monster; she was just an innocent. So when they flipped it, it was very much like the monster's now the hero.
Do
Yeah.
you have a kaiju in you?
I mean,
Damn.
no.
He did
Not
earlier. He
without
went
my
to the
consent.
bathroom.
He said not without my consent.
Oh no.
That's funny.
God
Clip
damn.
it.
If you guys had to pick a kaiju from any universe that
be your friend?
represents you, or
Ooh.
to be a friend
Okay. No, to represent you.
to represent
I like
you.
that. I like that.
Okay.
Gamera,
Chimera.
giant turtle. I'm a fan of giant turtles.
Is there a giant tiger?
Uh,
I feel like that's some
kind
Power
of.
Rangers
I was gonna say
territory.
Power Rangers. Wasn't there a white tiger?
There was a white tiger, but
Oh,
that was a giant robot.
yeah.
But it's a robot. Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
it's
robots
not,
aren't
yeah, that's not the
kaijus.
kaiju. That's
You'd
what
have
we
to have
used
like
to
4
fight.
people with you to turn that bitch on.
Mine was make my own. Then.
Oh yeah, can we make our own?
Let's make my own guys.
Danny, do you
It's gonna
have
be a
one?
tiger.
Honestly, I'd go Godzilla.
Nice.
Godzilla. Which
Yeah.
form of Godzilla? Just OG? I could respect that.
If
He's
you're
always
Godzilla, I'm Mothra.
winning. Yeah,
No
I'd
one
say-
saw that coming.
I like that
No,
new one.
that's
I like the
I
new
was
one.
gonna say Mothra anyway because she's the only one I know.
I'm gonna go to the Attack Titan. Obviously, Aaron Yeager now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
throwing
baby.
hands all day.
Plus, they just looked ripped as shit.
Yeah, true. He's just like, you basically look like a Titan's body.
Fuck yeah, I'll take it.
Man, I
Rumbling.
hate asking these questions because when I think about it, I'm like, holy shit, I didn't have one in mind.
This was not very well thought out.
Wasteland is filled.
I would be, Hulk kaiju.
Hulk.
Hulk.
Oh,
That's not real.
That's not. You just made one.
That's
No,
shit.
but we said we could make it up.
We already established the Hulk is not a kaiju.
Wait, you're not a Hulk
Tiger,
kaiju?
but-
Like
No,
a giant
just
Hulk?
kidding.
Oh, that made me excited. I was like, that's fucking cool. You didn't talk about this
A
one
giant
time.
kaiju Hulk.
You know,
That's a thing now. So
man, what's that? I cannot think of that monster Because I
Eminem.
didn't think of one.
It's my favorite.
Probably why you didn't think of
You
it.
guys win
the
this
best.
round. We'll come back to that maybe. Let's hope y'all forget it.
So, in talking about other things that are like monster related, Legendary, I don't know why I couldn't remember this name. It's the production company behind King Kong and all that, is actually going to make a show
Yes.
that's going to be
Yeah.
within that big monster universe. And it's been rumored, and I try not to take any of these for gospel, but that we're getting another King Kong versus Godzilla movie.
That's actually, I actually did read up on that
Yeah.
Is
today.
it confirmed?
Yeah, it is confirmed.
Wow.
Give me
Supposedly,
destroy you.
supposedly they're gonna
Destroy ya.
make. I don't know what the
destroy
the
ya.
situation's gonna be, but it's
Go sit in the corner.
Drop that line again from your song.
the song. No, but it's confirmed that they're gonna have Godzilla and King Kong fight another big bad, which is supposed to be bigger than both of them.
Destroy you.
So
Big Bad.
yeah,
I'm telling
We
you guys, I'm
got
gonna,
Big Bad and Destroyer.
I want to put a picture
Big Bad
of this.
is not the name. I'm saying it is a big bad.
What's a king to a
like
god?
Thanos?
That's a
Is that what
Kanye
they're
West
called?
song.
Big Bad.
Big
Or
Bad
you
is
just made that
I
up.
just
Big
made-
bad,
it's
like
like
the
a-
big bad guy.
Oh, okay.
the main villain of whatever.
I was like, for real.
There's so many monsters. they
Destroyer
could do
and Big
there.
Bad.
You could even
Sounds
honestly, Jet Jaguar is getting immensely more popular. His character design is kind of goofy in some of King Kong's.
But I feel like you
or
could. I feel like
Godzilla's world.
I feel like you could get modernized though,
Yeah.
because I mean they even
the
made Mecha
Pacific
Godzilla,
Rim, like
Pacific
those,
Rim.
Those they were called Jaegers, and that
Aaron
series
Yeager.
were fucking great.
So I know we weren't just throwing out like random shit to like, is that a kaiju? But can dragons be considered a kaiju?
How big
Yeah.
is a dragon?
I mean, that's kind of what King Ghidorah is.
I mean, I'm not
just
gonna
a
lie.
giant
when I-
three-headed space
well,
dragon.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Yes, I think it really all just
He's
depends
an
on the
alien
universe
Giant
it's in.
three-headed
I'm not gonna
space
lie. I feel like
dragon.
somebody somewhere is gonna listen to this. They're gonna be like, "You guys are fucking idiots." Like, because like the little like looking up the definition of it, it's like specifically like a Japanese like cinema style.
Yeah.
It has to do with monsters of Dragon cities.
Well, and
but
that's
also,
that's where we're like
dragons.
having fun with liberties on it, and like Power Rangers going back to it, but technically Power Rangers is a
It is.
Japanese-born thing, so
Yeah.
I mean, but it is very much like a kaiju is a Japanese descendant type thing. We can Americanize it all we want, but it doesn't make it a kaiju. Kind of like
Yeah.
we can call like a modern day, like warrior, like a samurai, but you're not really a samurai unless you're
I
from
am samurai.
this area. So
The
we can
last
take our own
samurai.
liberties with it, but we're doing a podcast, so fuck you if you don't agree with me.
Make your own podcast.
Yeah.
But we
Send me the
also
link. I'll
love you.
listen to it and give you plenty of good
Nerd
feedback.
shit, but correct.
Somebody that was listening had asked us if there was an anime that any of us had ever watched that you got all the way to the end of it. He's stretching this one out, and I already have an answer for it too. But
I got you.
an anime you watched entirely that at the end you realized was just a giant waste of time.
Gonna be controversial too. Oh boy.
Oh,
so
man, okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and let Perkins
Yeah, I
take
kinda
it.
wanna
and
hear
I'll
this.
go from
I'll
there.
say the only and I won't say a giant waste of time, but goddamn, did that ending blow? I'm gonna go with Yu Yu Hakusho, and hear me out. It was fucking rushed. Listen, hear me out. Yo, I'm gonna explain myself. Everything about the anime was amazing. You get to the final arc, and you cannot tell me that they did not rush that shit. Do I know why they rushed it? Obviously, due to the guy's health.
Did.
Okay, due to his health, but you had all this build up. We finally got into the fucking demon world, seeing all these powers expand. They did my homeboy Kuwabara fucking dirty, first of all. Oh yeah, we're just gonna have the guy that has the most badass dimension sword.
Spirit world.
His weapon could cut dimensions. Let's just kick him out
so
because
hurt.
fuck them. Next, we had this badass power. We learned about Yusuke's lineage. He has demon blood in him. Okay, well, we could expand on that. His
like,
family.
damn, spoiler
No,
alert.
let's fucking kill off the demon, make him strong as fuck out of nowhere, go into this tournament, lose, and put some fucking random demon as a winner. And then let's end it in the best way possible. We're all at a beach, hanging the fuck out, fucking staring into the sunlight after we just saved the fucking world. No, stop! Trash fucking ending. Fucking his girlfriend's just like, oh, you've been gone for so long, but let's get back together. What?
Keiko and Yusuke had a beautiful love story. You shut your whore mouth.
The ending was so bad.
So what you're saying
I know
is,
I know why it's bad,
No,
but it was just, I'm sorry, all of it from start to end.
The
was
writer-
amazing until the end.
For nobody that knows, the writer got sick and was concerned that he wasn't going to be able to finish the series, so he wrapped it. Yu Yu Hakusho, if he were healthy, would have probably been double in length.
Yeah.
But they did shit on a lot of good, like Kuwabara gets shit on a lot because nobody likes his character, like the voice character.
whatever reason.
I love him, but the ending did get super rushed. It did kind of get rid of a lot, and it does hurt my feelings hearing, but it's not wrong.
so what you're saying is if we haven't finished it, just don't even worry.
Whoa. No one said that shit. You can finish it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, go ahead and complete the run.
It does still also have one of the best arcs in all of anime history with the
I
Dark
don't know.
Tournament
The
story
Dark Tournament
arc.
is pretty fucking good.
I started. I don't even know if I
Ooh,
got
you didn't finish. Stop right there. All right, I got you.
Oh my god, I have never
I was
been
gonna say,
more
I never
hurt and
finished it.
humbled in one sitting in my entire life.
Oh fuck, dude.
No, you're right. You're right.
Well, quickly, which one do you think?
Mine was an anime called Air Gear. Air Gear was all about rollerblades. It was such a like a fun fan servicey kind of anime. It was like a kid who lived with a bunch of people that he realized they're all a part of this like secret underground rollerblading club, and the story dove in, and he got his Air Gear was what they were called, and he started taking over. He formed his own club, and at the very last episode, he does this like giant, and it's so corny, but it's like this like jump trick, and if he did this, he was going to lead this like revolution, and it was about to start getting really intense, and they never came out with more.
Oh, pain.
And I still to this day refer to an anime that's a letdown as an Air Gear. Like it Air Geared me. Like if I get super invested for you to just stop, and it just
Honestly, that kind of leads me into mine.
fuck you, Perkins.
Mine was Trigun, and not necessarily because it was a bad anime, because honestly, it was fucking
lit.
amazing throughout the entirety of it. But it's because it was only one season, and it just stopped. It kind of like leaves you hang. Kind of what you were just saying. Like it leaves you hanging. It leaves you wanting more. But they never came out. We did talk about it in the
manga,
yeah.
they continue with the manga.
Yeah, they did
They're
that in Air
supposed
Gear
to.
too, but
But
I
yeah,
want the
you're right.
show. I want
But-
the show. I want the voice actor.
Apparently,
the
rumors
animation.
with Trigun. The new one is supposed to hopefully continue on into that after. Rumors. These
Yeah.
are speculation.
Yeah,
this
But
is
that
what,
would be the only way for it to be good.
yeah,
Like rehash it and then continue on would be beautiful.
yeah. That might change my answer. Honestly, like
Right.
once it comes out. But like as of right now, I was so because I mean it came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
And
Fucking
it just did
beautiful.
one season of like this badass show, and then it's like nothing else.
start a new
There's
one.
quite a few that have pissed me off, like with the bad endings. But it's not their fault sometimes. Like sometimes we run into like budget cuts or like
Yep.
you
Full
know,
Metal Alchemist,
there's not just
the original.
as many people watching it. But that was like Devil's a Part-Timer, super good.
But it's back now.
But
it's
now
back
it's
now.
back.
Yeah,
Thank God.
Oh, so good.
But it left me so empty
Yeah.
for a while, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm moving on. I'm sorry. And then there was another one like Love Chunibyo. I might be butchering this, but it's been so long. It's like Love Chunibyo and Other Weird Things. That's the title. But it's so good. Like, if you haven't seen it, it's basically just about this little girl. She moves to a new town, or she might have been there. Sorry, it's been a while. But she's been living in this apartment, and she's alone. Like, she has her mom who works all the time, but the way she's super creative. So she has this, I think Chunibyo is the word for it in, it might be Japanese.
you can't just make up words and expect to be like, I think that's the word.
We're like, yep.
Juxtaposition.
No,
Yes.
Chunibyo.
Do not make that word
But
up.
it's when you're like a nerd, but like one of those nerds that like, I'm gonna cast a spell on you, and you're
So
gonna
you.
give me that
Like
pencil,
one of those nerds
you know?
that Naruto runs to impress people.
Yeah.
Got broken up with and did Naruto running all through the halls of Troy High.
Such
yeah,
a great
100%.
story. Like you start to like feel for this girl, and honestly, like it's just the way she is. She's like super nerdy, and there's somebody that she falls for, and he falls for her too. And it's a really good like love story. But you know, finally when they get to the love part, they're like, by the way, we ran out of money, so sorry. They're like mid, like
Damn.
I think it's their second date or first date, and that's it. It just cuts off.
That happens more than people would think because either the manga is going to do really well and then the anime has source material to follow, or they pull the full Metal Alchemist type shit. And
Yeah. Hunter.
but they do anime only
About Yu Yu
content.
Hakusho again.
Oh, sad. Money is a big deal when it comes to this shit.
It is, and people don't realize that just because it's animated doesn't mean it's cheap. Like it can be costly, and it's
Probably
like you
costs
said,
more.
destroyed a lot of really good animes. Crystal, I know that there's probably not a long list of animes you've watched that have disappointed you, but there's probably a long list of animes you've never finished, and you wanna just...
I was actually gonna say there are a lot that I either haven't finished or they're still like ongoing.
Yeah.
I feel like the ones I have watched that have been like one season, I've enjoyed those, and so they've been pretty good.
Are there any of those that you wish continued to have more episodes, or? Because I think that could be disappointing in itself.
Like,
Yeah,
oh, that's it?
100% sure.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of them, though, like they were fun. And it's like, okay, cool. If they had another season, like it'd be, like it'd be cool. But I feel like most of the ones I've watched that have just been one season have wrapped everying up
Enough
well
to where
to
you're
where
just
I'm
like satisfied.
Dang, that was good. It's like watching just like a movie, like because then
Yeah.
start beginning, middle, and end.
Do you? I was like, I don't even know if you really
You
watch.
know, honestly, we could expand it if there's a show or something that
I was
got
gonna say,
canceled.
well, I really didn't like how Gossip Girl ended.
I got plenty of shows.
Because it doesn't make sense
we
that
could talk
Dan
about.
Humphrey is Gossip Girl. It just doesn't. For the first 2 seasons, he's like,
Yeah,
why
you
are
like
we
turned
saying
into a
this?
kaiju.
One
makes
guy
sense.
died out of nowhere, turned into a giant monster, swam the fuck off. I remember that episode.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think that about wraps up here with our kaiju experience. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're on every platform. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You can even send us an email at nerdsocialhourinTexas@gmail.com.
Do it.
Feel free to reach out with any comments you might have about the show or anything you want to see in a future show. But until then, that's Justin with all of his nerdy friends, guys. Peace.
Bye.